$2,000 fourth stimulus check in 2022. I have all the details for you and what lawmakers are currently saying. Let's get right into it. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, as information is changing very rapidly, and so you can join the fastest growing advocacy group and the #1 channel right here on YouTube dedicated to bringing you all the latest updates every single day as it pertains to stimulus, the stimulus package, stimulus checks, fixed income, low income, money, benefits, and so much more that we're covering right here in the videos every single day. I know that it's very confusing, but please don't worry. I'm here for you every single day as your one and only daily advocate, as I'm doing research on this and I distill it all down into these short videos so that you can stay tuned with everything going on as it's happening in real time. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button right down below if you haven't done so yet, as it's absolutely free to do so. And let's get into this right away. One quick side note, yes, my wife will be back here in just a couple minutes with the new updated list of shoutouts and those names right out of the fan club, which by the way, that list will be updated every single week. So if you're in the fan club, you will be getting a shout out every single week right here on the channel in our videos. So congratulations in advance and make sure to stay tuned for that list of shout outs to those fan club members. All right, so let's quickly talk about what's going on because we've had a lot of new changes here over just the last couple days as it pertains to stimulus packages, and yes, even stimulus checks. There's a lot going on. In fact, we've been calling on changes here for many, many months, and finally, all of a sudden, just in the last 4 or 5 days or so, we've seen a number of different things coming out as it pertains to the stimulus packages, these new proposals, stimulus checks. I mean, seriously, a lot has gone on in the last 4 to 5 days here. Unbelievable how many things have came out just in the last couple days, and we've been calling on this for months and months and months and months. So, unbelievable. All right, let's quickly walk through what's going on. First off, if you saw my videos over the last couple days here, just over the end of the last week here, we've seen these last couple of proposals coming out. The proposal out of the small group of bipartisan senators, right? A small handful of senators coming out with their proposal, a couple Democrats, a couple Republicans working together in the best interest and working together on this $68 billion framework of a new stimulus package. Well, just a couple days ago as well, we got word that the president is going to be going to Congress, calling on them to issue another stimulus package as well. So he's going to be requesting it himself. Meanwhile, as I mentioned to you yesterday, this petition that's been on the change.org petition we've been talking about for a year or so, finally reached the goal of 3 million signatures as I reported yesterday. That is the petition calling on a $2,000 stimulus check recurring every single month for adults and an additional $1,000 for kids every single month through the duration of the COVID situation. So, wow, right? Just think, if they were to actually pay that out and offer retroactive pay, they would owe us like $24,000 or something. Wouldn't that be unbelievable, right? I mean, I didn't run the actual numbers, but it'd be over $20,000 that they would owe us if they actually offered retroactive pay. Now, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up because I honestly do not believe retroactive pay would be happening in this event, but I'm just saying, it'd be kind of fun to think about, right? 20 grand banging all of our accounts all of a sudden? That'd be unbelievable. That'd be pretty nice. But also at the same time, that would cause inflation very, very high, right? That would be hyperinflation. So even though it'd be really nice, it would cause a lot of problems in the short term. So even though we would all need additional stimulus checks, I honestly don't think we would be getting retroactive pay as a result of that petition, but it's still fun to think about, right? So let's quickly talk about what's actually going on here, because we need to better understand where do we currently sit now with all of these changes that have been released here just over the last few days, and where are we going right now, and what's the likelihood of a fourth stimulus check in 2022, and what's going on with this $2,000 stimulus check now that the petition has reached 3 million signatures. Amazing, right? That's a lot of people. Well, one quick note on that. As I mentioned in previous videos, here's what's interesting. If people didn't need additional stimulus right now, why would it be still gathering so many signatures? Thousands of signatures every single day. Why would the petition be getting that many signatures every day if us, the American people, were doing just fine and didn't need a stimulus check, right? Do you see the logic behind it? Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that people need additional relief right now, which is why the petition continues to gain thousands of signatures every single day. So I don't know. I like to look at the logic behind everything, and logically, that's just what it says to me is, hey, people are struggling. That's why they're still signing every single day. So, yeah, interesting stuff. But here's what else we do know. So remember that just a couple days ago, actually it was on Friday. So a couple days ago, the president has been calling on Congress. So the president is said to be calling on Congress for this next stimulus package. So he's going to be the one requesting it, right? Interesting, right? Because you don't really see the president coming out all that often saying, hey, Congress, get me a stimulus package, and here's what we need, right? You don't really see that often. Usually it comes out of lawmakers. They're usually the ones who introduce these proposals. They're the ones who kind of write everything up. They get the proposal or the okay, right, the approval from the president, and then they work it through the legislative process. They get it passed, send it off to the president, and then he signs it, and it's a done deal. So it's kind of interesting that the president is going to Congress asking for a stimulus package this time. However, I have a quick update on that I want to tell you about. I came across a report that had a little bit more information on that, and it looks like, remember on Friday and yesterday I was saying, hey, we don't really know what the timeline is on this. Here's what they're saying. They anticipate that they need this funding within the next few weeks here. So sometime before the end of January, it's anticipated that they will need this extra funding out of the stimulus package. So if that's the case, then Congress kind of needs to get on this almost right away and start getting this through the legislative process, because we know it takes quite a while, right? Even in a speedy process, it's still going to take a week, 10 days, something like that. It's still going to take amount of time for them to get all the legislation written up, through the necessary procedures, the voting in the House, the voting in the Senate, opening it up for debate, all of that process. It takes time. It all takes many days, right? So, but according to this newest update in this last report that I saw about it, they're saying that they'll probably need this funding sometime within the next 3 or so weeks. So probably by the end of January is what it's looking like. So we could be looking at some interesting things happening here over the coming days. We also saw additional reports saying that Chuck Schumer still intends to bring the Build Back Better agenda. That's the massive $2 trillion package that we've almost kind of forgotten about here over the last week or so, because we've had a lot of other things to focus on lately. But apparently he's going to be bringing that in about the second half of January. So sometime it looks like after January 17th is what was indicated as far as when he would be bringing that to the floor in the Senate to actually open it up for debate. And remember, they could absolutely add a stimulus check into that package as well. So we've got a lot of outs here when it comes to where they could add a stimulus check. Here's what they could do. They could add it into the $68 billion bipartisan bill or proposal that's being introduced out there right now that we talked about a couple days ago. It could be added into this package that the president is requesting out of Congress. Again, I don't have a price tag on that one. I haven't seen anything about it as far as how much it may cost, but that's just the one that the president is calling on Congress to get through over the next few weeks here. So a stimulus check could be added into that as well. Also, we have the Build Back Better agenda. This is the $2 trillion package. Yes, a stimulus check could be added in there as well if they just so wanted. And of course, we can't forget that yes, they could do it as a standalone bill, just like in late 2020 when they wrote up the Cash Act. Remember that one? We've talked about it a couple times, but that was the standalone bill to adjust the stimulus check from $600 up to $2,000. Remember that one? So that one actually never got anywhere because they decided to take a different route on that one, but ultimately that was a standalone bill to adjust the stimulus check. So we basically have 4 different outs here where we could get additional stimulus going forward. So with that being said, I do want to bring my wife in, Corey. She's going to read a little article to you. It's less than 3 minutes long that it takes her to read this for you. And I think it'll give you a little bit better of an idea of what's actually going on right now in regards to additional stimulus and what some lawmakers are actually saying about stimulus checks, stimulus package, things like this. I think this little article should help you out to better understand what is actually going on. And it's not from me necessarily, but rather from the authors of this article, the people who wrote it, and what they're actually seeing as their perception of what's going on as well. So I always like to mix in a little bit of different opinions here, just so that you can see that, hey, what I'm actually telling you is actually accurate, and what I'm telling you is true as to the information that I'm finding out there. So with that being said, I'm going to bring Corey in. She's going to to read this to you, and then she's going to follow it up shortly thereafter with the list of new shout-outs from those names pulled right out of the fan club. Again, if you're interested in checking that out, it's totally optional, not required by any means at all. All of my videos here are free, 100% free, always have been, and always will be, right here on YouTube. And you can check out the fan club. There's a link down in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comments section, I will also pin a comment there. You can check it out. But again, completely optional if you're interested. But that list does update every single week. And if you are on the fan club, you will be getting a shout out every single week if you are part of it. So, pretty cool, right? All right, so make sure to subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Share this video and go back and check out any of the other 2,000 videos right here on the channel. With that being said, Corey, take it away with the article and then follow it up with those shout outs for the fan club members. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you again soon.
Fourth stimulus check in 2022. Lawmakers discuss possible new direct payments by Danielle Ong. Key points. Senator Ben Cardin and Roger Wicker are leading the discussions. It is unclear whether the new measure would include previous provisions from other rounds of stimulus checks, and calls for more stimulus payments continue to grow as COVID-19 infections surge. Democratic and Republican lawmakers in Congress have been holding early discussions on whether they should send another round of COVID-19 stimulus funds amid the rapid spread of Omicron variant. The talks have been led by Senators Ben Cardin and Roger Wicker in recent weeks to discuss new payments for an array of businesses, including restaurants, performance venues, and minor league sports teams, for people familiar with the meetings. Cardin and Wicker have yet to finalize the measure. People familiar with the talks added that both lawmakers have also huddled with other lawmakers from their own parties in an attempt to build support for the bill. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Wednesday confirmed that there are ongoing discussions on COVID-19 stimulus funding. However, she did not specify potential new actions that the administration may take. It is unclear whether the new measure would include provisions for another round of stimulus checks. The third round of direct payments, which amounted to $1,400 for individual taxpayers, was signed into law in March of 2021 as part of the Biden administration's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. Neither the White House nor lawmakers in Congress have since indicated plans to send out more relief checks. Calls for more stimulus payments have continued to grow in recent weeks as COVID-19 cases continue to surge, leading to the temporary closure of schools and businesses and a pushback on return to work settings. A petition posted on change.org by Denver-based restaurant owner Stephanie Bonin has reached nearly 3 million signatures, 2.99 million signatures, and the goal is 3 million. The petition calls on lawmakers to send out monthly recurring checks of $2,000 for adults and $1,000 for children for the duration of the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the lack of action on a fourth round of direct payments, many Democrats have renewed a push to revive the expanded advanced child tax credit that would send monthly payments to 35 million families. Lawmakers in Congress may adopt another short-term spending agreement in February, which could give them the opportunity to respond to the fast-spreading Omicron variant and other recent crises, such as the deadly tornado outbreak. We are happy to give shout-outs to Kelly Leary, Lauren Cantrell, Tiny Harris, Kenneth Rolls, Cynthia Zapita, and Sheree Welder Richburg. Thank you guys so much for being in the fan club.